Today, a lot of building clients are worried why their projects, a lot of times, in fact, most of the times, will have cost overrun issues, projects running beyond budget most of the times. People are worried why this keeps happening. Well, in this video, I would want to discuss two major issues why projects run over cost a lot of times and why it is that building clients have the budget of what they want to do or what they want to spend on the project, but they end up having the project run beyond the cost. A lot of times, it runs far beyond what they planned that it will be. Well, the first issue to discuss on this is the estimates that the clients get from their projects. Most of the times, the reason for budget overflows or overrun are poor cost estimates. You see, because of the times we live in, cost estimates, budget for projects are not done the way it used to be in the days. We are living in the 21st, 22nd century. And so the manner in which things are happening in the market, financial system has changed. And so for that reason, it has also changed the way that projects are cost or budgets are made for projects. Let me look at the issue of cost estimates properly. You see, in the times we live in, if you look at the way the market situations are, nobody has a control of what happens to prices of materials in the market and even of labor. Things are going up and down, and there are no controls as to what happens to the market forces most of the times. Just take a look. Just sometime in 2023, the president in coming in had announced that the fuel subsidy was gone. In a short while, prices went so high. Projects that were running at such times would have encountered a lot of issues with regards to project cost and cost escalations. Now, when we have such scenarios, in fact, if you look at between May and December of 2023, prices rose, but not so badly. Prices has risen to about 20 something, 30 something percent beyond what it was when the year started. But if you check what happened between December and February, March of 2024, it was something else. Prices had risen up to 600% with regards to some materials. So now, looking at this kind of market scenario, what will a person making cost estimates do to manage such situations? In the times we live in, time has gone when quantity surveyors do estimates and they make estimates and tell you the project is going to cost so amount of money, and they say it is that. Time has passed for such things. In the times we live in, project estimates are made as a range of figures. It doesn't come as particular figures anymore, exact figures to say this project is going to cost you 100 million, it's going to cost you 150 million, 10 million to build. Times have gone when such estimates were made. In the times we live in, estimates are made as a range. So if a quantity surveyor, for instance, or an engineer had estimated that the project is going to cost, let's say, 100 million, giving to you as a building client, he will not give you that project is going to cost you 100 million. He will give you a range. And so bearing in mind that cost could escalate, it could go down, it could go either way that he doesn't have control over. And so it is better he gives you an estimate to say, this project is going to cost you between 100 million and 150 million. So as a building client, you have in mind that this project may exceed this cost. And as a matter of fact, it could even go below the 100 million estimate. But you're already having in mind that if you're making a budget of about 150 million, knowing that this project could shoot as much as that. So when an estimate is given to you, an exact estimate, and you shoot beyond it, you're already counting it as a cost estimate. You got a cost overrun, because for you had made a budget of about 100 million. Even if you added something to it, it may have been about 10 million or thereabout. But when the cost is now shooting beyond 110 million, is getting to 150 million, 200 million, it's now something out of range. So you see, the quantity surveyor or whoever who have given you such an estimate has deceived you, and such an estimate will put you into a problem. And as a matter of fact, clients keep complaining that estimates go below what it should be. And that is the reason why people record a lot of cost overrun on projects. So if you're a quantity surveyor or a cost estimator, it is time to realize that estimates are no longer done as a direct figure, giving people exact figures. No such thing exists now because you don't have control over what's happening in the market. As it stands right now, we give estimates in ranges so that people can have an idea of what the project could be, and they're looking at it and take their decisions and make their plans, put up their budgets to fit into what we're discussing. The second reason, which is the far bigger reason why projects are overrunning, are delays. Yes, delays. Why do we say that delays are causing a lot of project overrun or cost overrun? You see, when your project delays, a lot of things happen. In fact, we're talking about market forces. And when you delay a project, let's take for instance a project that was meant to run between January and February, January and June, let's for a 6 months project, for instance. If that project delays in beginning in January, nobody knows what could happen. Maybe, for instance, we're in 2025, if a project was made to run between January of 2025 to June, and that project has run from January, we're in February, February is coming to an end now, moving to March. You see, within this year so far, price ranges have remained stable. But we do not know what could happen from March, April, May. So when you delay your project, there is a tendency, a very high tendency, as a matter of fact, that your project could experience cost overrun when you have delayed its inception. Now, I'm going to discuss two main reasons why delays are a major problem, or two things that can cause delays. The first has to do with design changes. Sometimes we can call them variations. Most times you find building clients changing designs. Please, I don't want this again. Please make it this. The design was this. Please change it to this. You see, the time it takes to effect changes, design changes, is a whole lot. Design changes can lead to delays on projects. And it's when such design, because what the contractor had planned already, what was designed, and his original time schedule and his program of works are limited to that, are programmed around that kind of work that has been designed for him to do. When you are beginning to make changes in the kind of design you have, put this and don't put that, move to this and don't do that, you are delaying the time for the project to run. So it is better for you that when your projects are designed, take some time to look at the design before inception. But however, if you cannot avoid such changes when the project has commenced, you will also bear in mind that you will be gearing up for such cost extras that could come because of delays in meeting up with time. Because the earlier you work on from where you are, because you don't have control over what happens in the market, the earlier you take up your job and the project starts, the earlier you can avoid certain things that will come later on, or to make you get into issues of cost overrun. The next thing that affects projects has to do with delays in payment. Oh yes, delays in payment. When we delay in making payments, either for materials or to the contractor who is doing the work, what really happens is that his pace of work, that is referring to the contractor, his pace of work will become delayed. And when that pace of work is delayed, work that he was supposed to complete in so period of time could be extended because he doesn't have enough resources to proceed with the work. Materials that were supposed to be procured at a particular time, when you are not able to procure those materials at such time and there is a delay, there could be an increase in price in the market, or there could be a delay on the part of the contractor, because if the materials he needs to work do not come on time, it will affect the pace at which he works. And so cost overrun will come in because of such delays. So if you're a building client, it is important that you plan your work looking at the money you have at hand. There is nothing wrong in planning your work in phases if you do not have the total money to hit the entire job all at once. Because when you do some and you do some part of this work, you do some part of this work, this part of work is touched and that part of work is touched, and none is completed, and you're just moving. What happens is that because this one hasn't been completed, sometimes delays could make over costs of materials catch up with that aspect of work, and you'll be dealing with a lot of things at the same time, and you're not able to move on, and you will find that your cost will overrun. But when you schedule your work and you look at, oh, this job is 100 million, I have 10 million now. What can 10 million do? You schedule that part of the work and hit that part of the work and finish it. When you finish it, even if you don't have money to proceed to the next phase, you can hold on and plan. When you have money again, you can plan that aspect of your work and hit it and finish it. In that way, for each of those times, you will avoid indiscriminate increases in price of materials. And when a work drags, the cost overhead of contractors increase. And when a contractor's cost overhead increases, then you find that he will find a way to get it back from your work. So you need to plan your finances to be sure that you have what it takes to finish that aspect of work, or the whole work, as the case may be, what you can afford when you start the work. Do not let your works delay because of payment, because you're not able to pay the contractor, because you're not able to pay for materials, because you're not able to pay for labor. The thing is dragging. When your work drags, it makes it very obvious. It puts you in the situation of cost overrun. So today, I have discussed two major things that cause cost overrun in projects. One is poor cost estimates. When estimates are made poorly and not put into consideration the realities of the day with regards to market situations, then there is a tendency that the budget of the client will be overshot. Secondly, when there are delays on the project, whether it has to do with delays that come because of variations or changes, or whether there are delays that come because of not having monies to make payment, any of these can cause you cost overrun, because delays can lead you to times when costs will be beyond what you can afford. And sometimes, because of the extra cost that comes for overrun of the contractor, your cost can also go high. I'll be here next time to tell you some more things about the construction industry.